Hello, everybody, and hello, everybody, and welcome back to FX Street. My bad, I was reading a text message. Welcome back to FX Street. My name is Akash, and today we're going to be taking a look at Cardano and discuss what's happening with this triple tap setup and if it's going to pan out and what you should do. So, before we get into the details of what's happening here, make sure to head on over to our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button and click on this bell icon if you want to stay updated with the hottest trends in the crypto market and so you don't miss out on the content that we post almost every single day. If you you can also give us a follow on Twitter at FXS Crypto, and if you enjoy the content that I put out, make sure to give me a follow as well at Mangeko with the zero at the end. You can click this link here and it'll take you my Telegram channel where I post the setups that I'm taking, basically the thought process that goes behind why I take a trade. It's basically a journal for myself, but you can follow along if you wish. So let's get into Cardano, right? The last time I discussed this, I mentioned that Cardano price is forming a triple tap setup, which is a very common bottom reversal setup. It is basically a reversal pattern that occurs at the top and at the bottom as well. If it happens, regardless of where it happens, it is called as a triple tap setup, unlike the traditional version of this setup, which is called as a triple bottom or a triple top setup. Right. The only difference between this setup and the traditional setup is that this one has a deviation below deviation for the second retest, but the triple tap setup, or the triple top and the triple bottom setup do not usually have that. And the taps that happen often happen on a resistance or a support level. Right. So now that we've discussed the differences between what's happening here and what usually happens in traditional finances is that you can spot this pattern like in a lot of places, right? Basically, for Bitcoin, let me just give you a quick overview on what happened with Bitcoin. We're in a 4-hour time frame, right? You can see here there was a triple tap setup that was formed. Price did this, so price basically created a low, deviated below the low, and then formed perhaps retested the first swing low, and then it rallied higher. And even as you can see here, I can spot a lot of these setups basically just by looking at them. We form a range high and then a deviation above the range high, and then followed by a retest of the range high, and then boom, rejection. Right? These setups are found everywhere. Let me just give you one last example. Right? As you can see here, there is a range low that forms, deviation below the formed range low, and then a retest of the range low followed by a massive move up, right? And yeah, this setup is pretty common. So let me just get into what's happening with Cardano. Right. So Cardano formed something similar on a 4-hour time frame where the price retested, formed a range low around 0.435, deviated below that range low on the June of 18th. And since then, since the third retest here on the 30th of June, the price has rallied, right? It rallied 12, 13, 14, 15%, I think from here. Let me just it was a 13% upswing, but the price may have done any significant, hasn't embarked on a significant move. So technically, if I look at this pattern if the price hadn't consolidated like this, say I was somewhere around here when I saw this pattern happen, right? If I'd seen this, what I would expect, like my first target, if I were to trade this, like I would open a position here, keep my stop loss below this range low, and then I would take profits around this level. Basically, it makes a lot of sense because there's equal highs formed here, so there is a ton of liquidity present up in this level here area, basically extending from 0.53 to 0.55, and this would be my conservative setup, right? But if things were pretty good in the ecosystem, I would definitely book profits around here, which would be a 36% upswing for Cardano. Uh, and it would also make sense, right? The price has dropped quite a bit, but then it consolidates, accumulates, and then goes up, right? This makes a lot of sense, not just from a triple tap setup, but from a technical enterprise action perspective. But right, the reality is far from different. What's happened, as you can see here, the price has chopped around quite a bit below the 0.470 resistance level, and it finally made above it on here, as you can see, which was the 7th of July, but the price, the bulls or the buyers kind of failed to hold it or sustain it on above that level, which led to a rejection. Now, when I mean buyers failed to hold it above that level, it means that basically Cardano is extremely, not just Cardano, a lot of altcoins are extremely correlated to Bitcoin, and any direction the Bitcoin goes, the altcoins do pretty much the same, right? And then every cycle, regardless of not cycles, in every phase of the cycle, be it consolidation, be it bull markets, be it an uptrend, there's one coin that basically disobeys this correlation. And apparently Cardano is not one, but at one point in time, Cardano was that rebel coin where it rebelled against the directions of Bitcoin, and its correlation dropped quite a bit. But since Cardano is highly correlated to Bitcoin, the altcoin is dropping as well. And if you haven't checked out what Bitcoin is doing, please make sure to go and check that out so you can understand why Cardano price is crashing. Right? Regardless of what's happening here, I don't want Cardano price to go below the swing low at 0.443. I would love it for Cardano price to bounce off of this H4 demand zone here, extending from 0.43 to 0.45. Once we get a bounce off of this level, I think there is a good chance for Cardano price to recover, provided Bitcoin provides the opportunity. So the upside for Cardano are again pretty much the same, 0.550 and 0.628. But if we get a daily candlestick close below 0.435 in any conditions or in any cases, things the bullish outlook would basically be invalidated, and in which case you can expect Cardano price to retrace or crash down to the weekly support level here at 0.380. That's where I believe the bottom is going to occur for the short term period. But if Bitcoin price breaks the 19 or 18K support level, I think you can expect a lot worse to happen for Cardano and the altcoins than this minor retracement that I just spoke about. So that's pretty much it for Cardano. If you enjoyed this, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.